you. Very welcome. This is the How to Design Effective Strategies to Keep Your Clients Coming Back for More webinar. It's the 20th one we've done. It's going to be amazing, I know. So if you want to know about this, you're in the right place. Just for housekeeping purposes, you're all muted at the moment. You can say hello or whatever using the chat, and there will be an opportunity to be unmuted at the end of the presentation, which will probably take about 30 minutes, but you're all very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll just give it a couple more moments to see if there are any latecomers, and then we'll make a start. So let's just check the time. It's 12:01, so we'll make a start. So this year, so you're welcome to the How to Design Effective Strategies to Keep Your Clients Coming Back for More webinar. I'm Graham from Digital Freelance. We're a small digital marketing agency based in Brighton, Nottingham, and at one point in Bogota in Colombia. And we started on March the 1st, 2016. And I have a fantastic team. One of them is joining us again. That's Connie. She started more or less at the beginning. She's now gone on to be a superstar in the big city, but she's come back because she contributed, as did Ruben, who's our second team member, who joined 2 years later, to the development of what we're going to share with you today. And what we're going to do is it's broken into two parts, really. The first 3 points on the agenda, we're going to open kimono and share our internal processes that we've developed over 6 years. The last bit, we're going to share some marketing strategies to keep your clients coming back for more. So yeah, we specialize in small business marketing with guaranteed results. I know we've had 59 clients for our LinkedIn lead generation service. It's called Crowd. And I'm pretty sure that overall we've had well over 100 clients. So these are all tried and tested and proven processes that we want to share with you. The last part of, so we use 5 steps in our model: so crowd, capture, conversion, cash value, and continuity. This webinar is all about continuity, which is keeping your clients coming back for more. So as I said earlier, Connie has come back from her new role to join us to share some of how she contributed to producing these processes and strategies. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Connie.
Thank you, Graham. So yeah, as Graham said, I was in the company for 5.5 years, where, as Graham mentioned, it was just 2 of us at the beginning, a couple of people more. And then as we were growing, we realized, okay, we have quite a lot of tasks to do. Not all of our projects are the same. Obviously, clients have different needs. Therefore, we needed to be able to track all of these different projects and make sure we weren't really slacking and things weren't slipping through the cracks. And we got a project management system, which is something I would highly recommend to make sure that you're in control of everything that's happening in your organization. Again, we kept growing. And as Graham mentioned, we have quite big focus on conversion and return on investment. That's not only for our clients, obviously that's for us as well. So it was very important that we were able to track things and track the time commitment that we had for all of our clients, to understand also how we can carry on growing and so on. So we have a tracking time for tracking our time and making sure that we are taking care of all of our clients and giving the best possible projects. And then on that note, it was also very important because, as Graham mentioned, we were in various different places, that the communication was great between us and that we all knew what we were meant to be doing, right? So we developed a strategy to make sure that all of the tasks were assigned and we were getting the best possible quality. So reviewing each other's works and making sure that everything that had to be live at the specific times happened as it had to. So Graham is going to be talking to you about all of these processes and many more, I'm sure, in more detail, but that's kind of like the background of how we did it and how growing made us pushed us to get more organized and evaluate how we were doing things.
Thank you very much, Connie. I really want to thank you for your contribution to the processes that we now have and the way that we keep our clients happy and coming back for more. So thank you very much. So now I'm going to introduce Ruben, who's our third team member, and he's going to introduce himself now.
Thanks, Graham. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good day so far. Basically, since Connie left, I took over a fair bit of the project management, which includes communicating with our clients, making sure they're happy, making sure that we always have reviews for each project, and keeping on track of our project management system, which Connie mentioned as well. And today I'll basically just be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there. I'll try to answer them, but if I can't, then we do have a Q&A session at the end, which we'll circle back to any questions in the chat for. And if at any point you decide that you want the slides, then just put slides please in the chat, and I'll make sure you get them after the webinar's finished.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ruben. So I want to thank you for your great contribution to the results that we achieve for Digital Freeze and, of course, for our clients. So without further ado, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. If you're joining us live, that's the best way to do it. We'll also have recordings that we will send out to people from time to time. They're not publicly available, but we do email them out on request. So that's enough about us. Let's hear a little bit about you. So feel free to type away, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what you do, and what you want to learn from the webinar. That will help me to orient the examples. And there's a few case studies that I'm going to talk about as well towards what you want to learn. So feel free to introduce yourself and type away now, and Ruben will read out what you type. So we'll just give couple of moments for you to do that. While I have a little drink so that my throat doesn't get too dry because it's quite warm in here. So have we got anyone introducing themselves?
Nothing so far. Oh, yeah. Susan Graves says she's a career progression coach helping people promote themselves at work, and she's interested in how to make the most of testimonials and get more referrals.
Brilliant. Hello, Susan. Oh, you're very welcome. I think we've met before, so thanks for joining us again. And yes, we're definitely going to cover case studies and testimonials in the agenda for sure. So unless there's anyone else going to introduce themselves, let's oh yeah, we've got another one.
Yeah, we've got a couple more. Michelle Poole says she's supporting clients with admin, marketing and business support, and she's interested in getting new clients.
Oh, brilliant.
And Jerome Rush says we're building a self-powered, self-sustaining platform for a broad range of sensors, and it never needs battery recharging. Sounds interesting.
Hello, Jerome. Yeah, I'm sure we've also had a chat, so you're all very welcome. It feels like there's someone else as well.
Yeah, Yewande says she's doing natural, bespoke, handcrafted and organic solutions. Also empower the exhausted to sleep well every night. And she wants to help, or she wants to set up new systems to get new clients.
Hello, Yolanda. You're very welcome. And is there one more or not?
Oh, and Jerome added that it's a B2B product seeking new clients.
All right, brilliant. Yeah, well, we're going to cover all those things. There are some other recordings that I may, of previous webinars that I may mention as we go along, and I'll also give you the opportunity to request a link to those recordings if you want them. So without further ado, let's get into the kind of philosophy or the thinking behind this that led me to create this, or us to create this webinar. So Keith Cunningham poses this question in The Road Less Stupid. Highly recommend reading that. Advice from the chairman of the board is the subhead. How big would my business be if we slid every customer that tried us? Our business would be much bigger, for sure. So even though we're good at keeping clients, obviously for some reasons they don't all stay. But we're gonna talk now during the next hour or so about the specifics of getting clients to stay with you and keep for longer and keep coming back for more. I'm going to refer to 3 case studies, all of which are time-based businesses. So the first one is the 7 Minute Life. This particular campaign is about a year planner that needed to be renewed annually. Black Country Atelier, they provide products for schools, and so obviously they're dependent on school terms and planning cycles. And then Calibrate UK to do annual calibration visits, so they're also based on an annual cycle. In their case, cycle times do vary for businesses, but the longer your cycle time, the more important it is to have these kind of strategies and campaigns in place. I'm going to go into depth on those 3 case studies as we go through the presentation. So let's go to the next slide. Here we go. So here's the agenda then. So what we're going to cover is how to develop an effective process for onboarding new clients. This is really, really important when a lot of people put huge effort into getting new clients, and as soon as they have them, they kind of forget about them. This is the most important step, is to make sure you have a really clear onboarding process. Make sure that you set expectations clearly. Make sure that you have a clear success criteria so you can demonstrate that you're doing well, and have a robust tracking system. I think Connie mentioned some of these when she was talking. Going to go a little bit more in depth on that. The next, really, really important, marketing is all about creating value, building value. It's really important that you deliver the value that you promise consistently. The process for defining what that value is called the statement of value method. We covered that in an earlier webinar. If you'd like a copy of that video, just type statement of value video into the chat, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of that. Third step is reporting and reviewing progress, particularly if your delivery processes take some time, or even if they don't. It's really important to do this well, so you clearly communicate the results that you're getting for your clients. How to encourage word of mouth referrals. I know Susan asked for that, so we'll definitely cover that. And how to create case studies, reviews, and testimonials to share results. Also really important. Social proof is one of the key aspects of marketing, particularly in this social media age. So let's go into the first step then, which is develop an effective process for onboarding. So the first thing to do, the absolute first thing to do, is to thank your prospects for becoming clients. Really, really important. And obviously send out contracts, invoices, and paperwork. We use a CRM for this so that we can automate it, but we also have checklists in our project management system, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, to make sure that you do all the steps that you need to do in your process. This is an ongoing refinement, and you can keep fine-tuning it, making it more and more accurate. The next step is to welcome them and give them something to do. What we do is we send out educational videos, which I've talked about already. So we send videos out to new clients that explain what we do and help to build reassurance that we're going to get the results that we promise, and also to educate our clients on what we do specifically every day. This very webinar will become part of that ongoing process. Set up the meeting cadence. We typically, have a meeting cadence of every 2 weeks. So we review progress every 2 weeks. This will vary depending on what kind of business you are. But it's really important that you keep that you have a regular progress review, and then you stick to that. We also use automated booking links for reviews, which also saves time and also makes it a more consistent process. We set up tracking in Google Sheets. So we talked about a tracking system. So we know where we are in delivering the results for clients. And we also set up time tracking, which Connie mentioned, to make sure that we know how many hours we're spending on the project. So that's step one. Step two is deliver the value you promise consistently. Obviously, super, super important. So important we've made this into a golden egg. I think Connie maybe mentioned we use Asana, and I think Ruben did as well, which is our project management tool, which we use to identify all the tasks that we need to do in order to deliver the value to our clients that we promised. And we created some key performance indicators to check whether we're on or off track on any project as we're going along. I think I mentioned earlier, CRM is really, really valuable in this context. We use Keep Classic, but there are lots of other options that are available. So you can automate the fulfillment process to deliver the value that you promised to your client. The value often starts with some kind of lead magnet, if you're using that in your sales process. And then it consists of delivering the transformation that you identified in the statement of value, which I mentioned earlier, to make sure that it's delivered consistently and that you fulfill your promise. In our own business, we do a daily review, start of day and end of day, and sometimes middle of the day if we're really going for it. So that the whole team get to communicate with each other and we know exactly what we're doing. So that's step 2. Step 3 is reporting. So we use Slack for real-time communication, so that we're in communication with our client all the time, literally on a daily basis, sometimes even hourly. The key, as needed, not every hour, but as needed. The key to remember is that if you're not communicating with your client, they'll be making up their own story, and that's not what you want to be happening. Because of that, if any time there's a vacuum, it will be filled with gossip or story or whatever. So you want to be building a narrative as you go through delivering the value that you deliver to your clients, to make sure that they realize the results that they're getting. You'd be really surprised how easy it is for clients to forget what you're doing for them. It never ceases to amaze me how you have to keep the story going all the time. And then review frequency. I said we review every day and then every 2 weeks with the client. Other cadences are maybe required depending on the particular type of business that you are in. So that's reporting and review. So that's the core of the delivery system that we use in Digital Freelance to deliver value. Really important to be able to do this consistently. In one of the givens in marketing is that most of the value is generated after you have a client. Everyone wants to focus on getting new clients, which is obviously the exciting, not obviously, but can be the sexy, exciting part for many businesses. Keeping them is actually equally, if not more important. One of the key considerations in this regard is what's called lifetime value. How long does a client stay with you, and how much value do you deliver to them in return for the money that they pay to you over the long term? We when we're setting up projects, evaluate the value over a year. This is a new thing that we've introduced now. We used to do it over a month, then we went to 4 months, now we're doing it over a year. And that is lifetime value. If your lifetime, the higher your lifetime value is, the more you'll be able to afford in customer acquisition, because the profit from the lifetime value pays for the acquisition cost. It's a really key metric is how long is lifetime value, which is to calculate how many, if you have a monthly program, for example, how many months does a client stay with you, and what's the value of that customer value over that life cycle. You can then take a simple percentage of that. Some businesses work on 10%, some work on 20%, to work out your allowable cost for acquiring a customer. It's a really, really important metric to measure lifetime value. So that's why it's so important to keep your clients coming back for more. So I've shared with you the system that we use in-house. Now I'm going to move on to the marketing aspects of this. So in order to encourage word of mouth referrals, the first thing above all else is to be doing a good job in the first part, because people are going to refer you because you're delivering value for them. So you want to continue building the relationship and get to know your clients better. There's several ways of doing this. One way is to build a tribe or a community. You can do this on Facebook or WhatsApp. We don't particularly use WhatsApp, but some people do, or a LinkedIn group, for example. Also invite existing clients or people who you've interacted with before to your events, and then continue to deliver useful content. This is really, really important, super important. So the educational material that we create for our prospects, we also deliver to our clients as well. So that, first of all, to reassure them that we're doing what we say we're doing, that we're doing a good job, we know what we're doing, and also to educate them on some of the other things that we do. So, and also to kind of make sure that we're in their awareness all the time, if that makes sense, because you want to be front of mind so that when one of your clients is talking to someone else, and that they identify you clearly with the value that you deliver and the problem that you solve and the solution that you provide, so that they will then refer you to their friends and business colleagues. And the other aspect is to, I'm just going to go back there, is to ask for referrals. So as part of our ongoing marketing campaigns and our CRM that we set up for our existing clients, one of the emails that we send out actually asks for a review on Google and asks if our clients know anyone else who could benefit from our services. And we do get referrals from sending out those emails. So ask for them, but make sure you're doing a good job first. Ask for word of mouth referrals, and also ask for testimonials, which is the next bit. So in our email campaign, as I just said, we request a review on Google Local, we request a testimonial, and we also survey our clients to see how we can improve the service. We have a template for case studies. Quite happy to send you that if you'd like to receive it. Just type case study template, please, into the chat. That would be awesome. And excuse me, I just need to have a quick drink because my throat is getting a little bit dry. So I'll just give you the opportunity to type away while I do this. That's better. So a case study, the way that we do case studies is to identify the transformation that we provide, and then we do a before and after. So what was the situation before someone engaged with our services? You can do the same thing for you. And what's the situation afterwards? A little bit about the client and what they do is a great structure for a case study. All of this information combines to build trust, which is one of the biggest things that you want to be building in marketing. Most marketing is based on know, like, and trust. So first of all, they have to know you, which is getting the message out there. Second, they have to like you, which is building a relationship over time. And the third thing is trust. And the way that you build trust is to demonstrate that you've delivered the value that you identified in the statement of value to previous clients. This gets over the objection of, I don't know if it'll work for me. So the more accurate and precise you can make your case studies, the more convincing they will be. So talking about case studies, here's the first one, Black Country Atelier. They are a STEM education provider. They provide what's called a technical award, which is, for those of you in the UK, is a GCSE equivalent. They sell to schools. The major criteria is what's called league table points, which are awarded by the DFE, Department of Further Education. And the objective for Black Country Atelier was to get the technical award into more schools. So we designed, I think, 7 or 8 campaigns, which identified what were the key decision points in a school's buying cycle, bearing in mind that if something is going to be taught in the September term, pretty well the planning and the budgeting and everything for it will be done in the preceding February, March time. So we identified the decision-making cycle and we put together campaigns, which the first step was to send out an email which identified which are the latest courses that have been approved to provide league table, to deliver league table points. So that was the first email. Then we sent out several other emails that one of them was a video, one of them was a case study. So we literally built trust in the schools. And I think as a result of this campaign, the first year, the install base of schools went up from something like 21 all the way to almost 70, which was the difference for them between a loss making and making profit. The second year was to convince the schools that had already decided in the first year to stay with offering this technical award for the second year. The other complicating factor is that this technical award was delivered is a 2-year qualification. So it was like keeping the schools engaged and sending them new information. This was an online course, so it used what's called a Moodle. So this was to remind the clients the value that they were getting from using the Moodle, and to check in to make sure that they were getting the right training. This is quite a complex project, but this increased their lifetime value very dramatically. So that's the first example. The next example is the 7-Minute Life. Alison Lewis does time management training. So it was a workshop and seminar business, but one of her products is a year-long life cycle planner. Time management planner. She had a list of about 15,000 people, and unfortunately, none of them were getting reminders after a year that they needed to renew their year planner or daily planner. So literally, we created a campaign to remind people who bought before that it was time for them to buy next year's year planner. And she set us the goal of generating $1,000 worth of sales every 2 weeks, which we accomplished consistently for I think 3 or 4 months. And then once the automation was set up, then it would run automatically the next year. So this is a really good example of increasing lifetime value by increasing the number of purchasers over time. I think she'd been selling these for like 5 years and not once asked for repeat business. So her repeat purchases were very low. We increased them dramatically, I think like 10x or something like that. So third case study, Calibrate UK. Calibrate UK go around NHS surgeries calibrating equipment such as vaccine fridges, very pertinent given COVID, which is when we're working with them, and also pulse oximeters, which I must admit I never heard of until we started working with these guys. So we literally set up email campaigns for basically an early warning system to remind NHS surgeries that their calibration was due. We also set up effectively an upsell campaign to add in PAT testing, which is electrical testing to make sure that electrical items are safe. And we set up a campaign where every month we set up a tip. We sent out a tip to the surgeries to give them a tip of things they could do to maintain their equipment in good order before the next calibration visit was due. So all these 3 case studies are good examples of extending lifetime value by using marketing to extend the value and remind people to buy at the right time. And also, as particularly for Calibrate, we also set up Google reviews as well, so they could get reviews from satisfied customers. So, are you ready to keep your clients for longer? That's the question that I'm going to leave you with. It's real. This is like probably the least sexy part of marketing, but it's the most important in terms of long-term profitability. So if you need our support, we're more than happy to help. We offer a 20-minute free chat with me. There's the link to book it if you want to book a chat. It'll take about 20 minutes. I can answer any questions that you have from this presentation. This is quite an in-depth, involved presentation, and I know there's a lot of variables in it. So if you want to get a bit more clarity on that, then please feel free to book a time to talk. We could chat about other aspects of marketing as well, but this is specifically for continuity. We obviously do offer paid services as well. That's part of we're a business as well. But this particular bit is free 20 minutes. I can see that Ruben's put the link in the chat. So without further ado, what questions do you have? You can either type them into the chat box or feel free to ask them out loud, whatever's best for you. But while you're doing that, I'm going to have another drink because it's very hot today. So do we have any questions, Ruben?
No, not yet. Jerome says, we're still pre-revenue and have not yet started our customer acquisition process, but I found your presentation extremely useful and relevant. Sorry, mustache, but thank you, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks for joining us, Jerome.
And Yewande asks, do we measure rate of customers leaving?
Yes, we do. So we measure rate of customers arriving and rate of customers leaving. Most important, as important as measuring rate of customers leaving is to understand the reasons. So we do a question at the end. We have a kind of a project feedback at the end of every project, where we will ask questions about how they appreciate the service and what we can do to improve. Sometimes there's kind of, because we're kind of a project business, sometimes people leave and then they come back again. So we've had several clients who have gone away for a little bit and then come back again. That is partly, but we keep communicating with them in the period that they're not a client as well, which is really, really important. So I hope that answers your question. If you want to ask a supplementary question, please feel free.
Cool, I think that's it. Yep. No more questions yet.
Okay, so thank you all very much for joining. I really appreciate it. Hope you got some value from that, and hope to see you on a chat. If you want to have a chat, just fill in the link. You can book a time in my calendar, and we can continue the conversation. Thank you.